Hi, Gary here. You've heard me say this before, but the number one trait we see in our clients is they save first and they spend second. So this is about 401ks, and in particular, we're talking to the age 50 and below crowd, really here. And it's about, moving from job to job. That you got a 401k at one job and you move to the next job, hopefully start up a new one. You always want to keep doing that. And what do you do with that old one? Do you cash it in? Do you leave it where it is? Do you roll over to your new 401k, or do you roll it to an IRA? Now, Hewitt Associates did a study on this recently, and they found that 46% of the people cash in their 401k. This is horrible, and you'll see in a moment. 25% move it to their new 401k or IRA, which is fine. And 29% just leave it behind, which is maybe okay, depending. Let's take each one of them. How about those who leave it behind at 29%? What's the advantages? Well, it's easy because they just leave it there. Hopefully it's allocated correctly, whatever they do. And they don't have to they don't have to do anything, they don't have to move it. It makes life simple, and they move on to their next job. And hopefully start up a new 401k and keep going. What's the disadvantages? They lose touch. They start to ignore it. They're not really tracking it real well, so it could be getting off the tracks on them. And that old 401k could change, different things could happen. So it's not the best choice, but it's better than, cashing it in. Number two, how about those who roll it over to an IRA or 401k? Well, if they roll to an IRA, the advantages are the whole world's open to them, so they can go anywhere they want. So they really can customize that. They can track it very carefully, keep it tax deferred. There's no tax issues, there's no costs in doing it. In fact, they can get the costs even lowered depending on the kind of 401k they're in. Moving to another 401k. Well, it's a really interesting little thing here. You can go from 401k to 401k or 401k to another qualified retirement plan. In the process of doing that, it keeps tax deferred. But there's another really interesting fact. And when I talk about the cash in a moment, we'll see what this is. But if the new plan, and most do, have a loan option, and you really need money for some reason, you should be able to loan it out of there. And you can take that old 401k money plus the new money and in total be able to do that. That's kind of a neat choice if necessary. You don't like to do that, but if necessary. Let's talk about the last one, cashing it in. Why would you not want to do this? Well, let's just take an example. You got a 30-year-old. That 30-year-old's leaving a company, going to a new one. They've accumulated $20,000. So they have a choice of cashing in or rolling it over. So if they cash it in, there's a 10% penalty because they're under age 59 and a half. Let's assume they're in 28% tax bracket, and so you have another 28% tax. When you put those two together, that $20,000 goes down by $2,000, then it goes down by another $5,600, so it ends up at $12,400. Now, if they rolled over, nothing happens there. It's $20,000. So now you've got $12,400 and you've got $20,000. If we just grow it by 7% in both cases, and quite frankly, there'd be more taxes on the one side, so it's actually be lower than the number we come up with. But if you just do 7% on both, we end up with $132,000 and change on cashing it in, and we end up with $213,000 and change on rolling it over. That's an $81,000 plus mistake by not rolling it over. And this is just so critical to do that. Now, a lot of reasons people cash in is they need the money for something. They got to pay off some loan. They've got to, maybe they're buying a house. It could be multiple things, moves, etc. Well, if they roll the money to a 401k and then go to that new 401k, and you can do this very quickly, they can do a loan. I mean, it's not the best choice, but it's much better than paying out this much money and having this thing in a taxable situation. Much, much better. So, the bottom line is, if you're moving from job to job, number one, best choice is usually to roll it over to an IRA or 401k. Number two, keep contributing in that next job because you want to keep building this. You're building your own retirement here. It's not being taken care of by corporate America anymore. That's gone. It's been gone for a while. And that's very important. For everybody else out there listening to this particular blog post, if there's somebody you care about and you hear this is happening, get them in touch with an advisor, someone who knows how to deal with this, so they don't make that mistake and cash it out not knowing there's other choices. because there's other things besides the 401k loans and so forth. Have them talk to a qualified professional to help them out. So until next time, enjoy.